Hello, everybody, and welcome to week 2 of class. I hope and trust that you enjoyed and found enriching the content from the first week. That material was presented to you as a means to highlight the fact that the American hemisphere was populated in many ways by a diverse range of people groups. And in some ways, this helps us to understand that what transpires by Europeans is a process of what we call settler colonialism. Not just colonialism in its general sense, but the idea that we are coming to remain in order to build one's own institutions. And embedded in this idea of settler colonialism is the idea that the land is already belonging to the settler and not necessarily the indigenae who are living there. And this, of course, poses some complications in the way that we understand the relationship between the indigenae and settler colonials. But I think it's important to recognize the accomplishments of those groups of people and to recognize their presence. This week we're going to be diving into that process of settler colonialism on behalf of the English. And although I don't have time to cover every single original colony, which there were 13 original colonies, we are going to be focusing on 3, and specifically 2, but 3. We're going to look at Jamestown, Plymouth, and Massachusetts Bay. And we're going to be looking at the way in which these 3 colonies were settled, the way in which life and society developed. And we're going to be also looking at some of the religious developments, specifically in New England, among a group of people called the Puritans. We'll be focusing on slavery and the development of slavery in the South and its economy, and Puritanism in the North. And this week we will also be looking at a case study of the Salem witch trials. And part of the reason why I want to focus on those Salem witch trials is in order to begin to think about causality and for you to look at information that is not complete. And in fact, there's many different theories as to why historians think the Salem witch trials began and continued. And so it's an interesting case study. It's an interesting piece of work because it forces you to have to look at evidence that's, 1, not complete, and 2, oftentimes will conflict with other information, and to try to come up with your own ideas about what was taking place. So that's what's going on this week. And of course, you have your discussion boards that you need to make sure that you respond to and get those up by the delineated due date as stated in the discussion board. And so you have that. The only other thing I would ask that you begin to do is to think about what topic you might like to look at for your first PowerPoint assignment that will be due at the end of week 7. That is more clearly stated in the syllabus, but if you have any ideas or questions that you'd like to have answered or thought about, please feel free to email me. All right, guys, I think that's pretty much all I have for you. So with that, I'll bid you go in peace, be warm and filled, may the force be with you, and may the odds forever be in your favor. All right, guys, be blessed.